video essay about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Moon, directed by Michel Gondry. Came out in 2004. It's one of my favorite movies. So let's just stop and watch the scene.
Hi.
Hi. I figured you'd show your face around me again. I guess I thought you were humiliated. You did run away, after all.
I just needed to see you. And,
Yeah?
I'd like to, take you out or something.
You're married.
Not yet. Not married. No, I'm not married. No.
Look, man, I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm high maintenance, so I'm not gonna tiptoe around your marriage or whatever it is you got going there. If you want to be with me, you're with me.
Okay.
Too many guys think I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I'm gonna make them alive. But I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. Don't assign me yours.
I remember that speech really well.
I had you pegged, didn't I?
Yeah, the whole human race pegged.
Probably.
I still thought you were going to save my life, even after that.
I know.
It would be different if we could just give it another go-round.
Remember me. Try your best. Maybe we can.
There's a lot of things that I could talk about with this scene. I mean, so some context. In this movie, it's about two characters that were in love, and then some things go bad in their relationship, and he's now having her erased from his memory, and a large part of the movie is taking place in his mind. And this is him reliving a memory that he's trying to hold on to about this girl. And I could talk about like the juxtaposition of the two characters and how the costume design works and how he's all black and she's fiery red and all that. But I really want to focus on three filmic elements that I think make this scene particularly effective. The first is the handheld camera work. The handheld camera work here really does a great job of bringing us into the scene with the characters. It makes us feel like the audience is a participant in this. This tracking shot where we're peeking over the bookshelves and we're kind of almost like we are shopping ourselves and like we are watching the cameras makes the scene feel more intimate. It feels less sterile and it feels less detached. And that's why there's always things in the foreground, like these books in the corner, like the bookshelf. It's giving us context, like we're participating in the frame, and then it ends with us kind of peeking through the shelves, almost like voyeurs, almost like we're watching this scene play out ourselves. And so I think that kind of intimacy really serves really well. Then we've got this books as a metaphor, and what's happening with the books is really cool. Look at where our books start at the beginning of the scene, and how at the beginning of the scene, you've got all these books that are in color. Some of them are faced backwards, but we've got relatively normal looking bookshelves. And then as I slow it down here, you can actually watch as our books vanish. And you can see the books vanish in their color, and they go from being colorful to white because this represents him losing her. So these books are a metaphor for both the clean slate of their relationship, but also the clean slate of his mind, the things that he's losing. And it devolves to the point where at the end of the scene, our shelves end up completely white. So our memories are disappearing. The relationship is disappearing. And then at the end of the scene, the shelves end up completely white. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is, where is this light coming from? And there's this real crazy light that is peeking in from over off stage right. And it's really strong. And it's not the same color light as the rest of the light. It's this kind of blue, sharp, fluorescent almost light. That's where the rest of the scene is lit iridescently. And I think that the function of this light is that this light reminds us that this scene is surreal. It's happening inside his mind, that things here do not follow the normal rules. And it works in combination with the whitening of the books, with the disappearing bookshelves and the disappearing memories to kind of create this surreal effect overall. And so, yeah, so let's watch it one more and then we'll be done.
I figured you'd show your face around me again. I guess I thought you were humiliated. You did run away after all.
I just needed to see you. And,
Yeah?
I'd like to, take you out or something.
You're married.
Not yet. Not married. No, I'm not married. No.
Look, man, I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm high maintenance, so I'm not gonna tiptoe around your marriage or whatever it is you got going there. If you want to be with me, you're with me.
Okay.
Too many guys think I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I'm gonna make them alive. But I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. Don't assign me yours.
I remember that speech really well.
I had you pegged, didn't I?
Yeah, the whole human race pegged.
Probably.
I still thought you were going to save my life, even after that.
I know.
It would be different if we could just give it another go-round.
Remember me. Try your best. Maybe we can.
Let's make a video essay together. So we start by dropping our media into the media folder over here. I'm going to add my movie, and I'm going to add actually this kind of little intro logo thing that I made. I'm going to drop them in here, but I don't need the whole movie. So I need to find the scene that I want to talk about. I know it's towards the back. Here it is. And now I just need to cut it out. So I'm going to find the scene transition point. I got to watch a little bit of it here. It's a great movie, so I don't really mind. And then once I get there, we're just going to chop and cut it, delete that first part because I don't need that anymore. Now we're going to make this smaller again. Now I just need to go to the end of the scene, chop it up there. I know this is pretty close to the end, so we go here, and then it's just going to be a little chop. Great. And I want to get the frames here kind of perfect. So I'm going back just a little bit here, zoom in really close so that way I can get that kind of frame specificity right there, chop, delete, boom. Now I've got the scene that I want to work with. Drag it over here, drag my intro in over there, make sure there's no space here. Look at that, looking tasty. It's a little long, probably don't need the whole thing. Chop that, delete that, move that back over here. So now I've got my scene, going to add some text, add some blank text here. And this is how you make a title card. It's really simple. You just leave some black on the screen, add some text, make sure it fits, make sure it's where you want it to be. Boom. So now we've got our intro, now we've got our title screen, now we've got our intro to our scene here. And now we're just going to kind of let the scene play out. And we'll speed up through this section here because we don't really need to go super in depth on watching the scene because you've already watched it a couple times. And so as I'm making this, I'm thinking about the things that I want to talk about. And I know that I really just kind of only want to talk about 3 things. I don't want to get super in depth on this because I don't want to make like a 20-minute video essay that's outrageous and I don't have time. So I want to talk about the books, and I want to talk about the lighting, and I want to talk about the and I want to talk about handheld camera, books, handheld camera, and lighting. And I think I'm probably going to start with the handheld camera. So I'm going to go through here, and we're going to find some elements here that I think are worth saving for the handheld camera. And we'll drag our video that we're going to work with up here to another line. And so now we're going to edit through to get some parts that I think the camera work works really well. And are some good examples of how we know this is a handheld camera. So we're going to cut, edit out to those specific parts. Then we're just going to kind of add a little, we're going to add a little title here for a little text just to keep track of our sections here. Then we'll move on to our next section. Our next section is going to be the Van Alstyne books as a metaphor. We'll drag that up to its own kind of video line here. We're going to cut out some things here, edit it down. And I'm I'm having to make this. I'm doing all of this, and I think my total time to complete here is less than 20 minutes to do this whole thing. So it's not going to be a perfect video essay. I'm not rough cutting it and then going to watch it and then do a final cut. I don't really have time for that. So I'm just kind of rough cutting all this together, just trying to find some examples. It's definitely not going to be perfect, but like you guys, I've procrastinated, and so I've just kind of got to get done. So now I'm editing out the scene to kind of get to these places where I really want to be able to show where the books are kind of erasing themselves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this section, then I'm going to slow it down so that way we can actually watch it.
Many guys think I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I'm gonna make them alive.
And at this point, once I get this kind of cut up and slowed down, now I just want to talk about this lighting here. And really, this is the shot that I want. This is the shot because I think this is the best shot that shows that there's some kind of crazy light here. So I really just want to kind of focus on this shot and where is this light coming from and how it adds to the surreal nature of this. Drag some text in here, change what it is. I already added it. Oh, yeah, got to go back and add the books of the metaphor text. So now, boom. Here we go. Handheld camera work, books of the metaphor, and everything's looking good. Looks like I got my 3 sections here. I added a little fade in transition there. All right, I've got this appropriately slowed down. And so I think overall things are doing fine here. So now I just kind of need to trim some things up, make sure that everything is kind of where it needs to be. Go back and review some things. I'm going to speed up through the review process here. And then we've just kind of got to export the video file. And then we're going to patch this all together in one longer video. But yeah, I wanted to include some of the editing process and how to throw this together. Again, the whole thing is less than 20 minutes to throw it together. Not that big of a deal. And I just used Clipchamp. I didn't use anything more sophisticated. I'm not using transitions or anything else. Just kind of, yeah. And so final step is getting everything sequenced right and making sure that there are no gaps. And then, yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope maybe it was helpful to be able to see the editing process.